Are the Spurs ruining the game of basketball? Are the Cavs going to get swept? These are the things coming up in the episode. But hey, welcome back to the Casual Observer. I'm your host, Daniel. Thanks for all the support from the first episode. Look, diving straight in. Spurs Thunder Game 2. Thunder win 122 to 113. Series is now tied 1-1. Damage was done in the second quarter. 31 to 20. The Spurs never recovered. They made a late push. Brought it within 5, but couldn't get over the hump. The Thunder just too deep. So we'll break it down. Game starts pre-game. De'Aaron Fox out again. High right ankle sprain. Unsure if he'll be back. So Dylan Harper starting a second game in a row, coming off a nice 47 minutes in the first game. The Thunder did bring out their usual starting 5, but J-Dub lasted all of 7 minutes. He was done pretty quickly with his left hamstring. Walked back to the locker room, ice on it, never saw him again. So whether that helped or hindered the Thunder, hard to say, because it seemed like it got him over the, they got them back into their rhythm. They were 45-10 in the season without him. And it's an opinion for all if that's actually helping them or hurting them, because he had some good size, bit more ball handling, bit more scoring. But if a team's played 55 games without you, hard to see how they're not kind of, a bit more used to it, especially the recent part of the season. So that saw an increase in minutes for Isaiah Joe and Jared McCain, and they came out guns blazing. The extra shooting on the floor really helped, and they didn't really lack on defense either. So they were off the bench. They were just heroes along with Caruso and Wallace. But SGA also seemed to end up finding his form again, and whether that was from a bit more spacing, because they actually hit their shots today. He actually looked like himself again. So they definitely actually played their usual game plan. They went back to Isaiah Hartenstein, which I thought this is not their series. Didn't matter. He just decided to get all physical, and that's what I'm saying. Are the Thunder ruining basketball? Look, we already found that they're villains again because they're too good. They've got a hell of a squad. They've got all the assets moving forward. It's crazy. But now they're starting to flop on everything. Saw a video online of just about 100 flops in this game. And, there was one on Harrison Barnes from Isaiah Joe that he didn't touch the guy and he went flying. Now, if Julian Champagnie shoots that shot, it doesn't get called. But still, that is some bull honky going on. I think, look, they obviously know that they can play as rough defense as they want, and they are not going to call everything, but that's still, is that basketball? Is that a purist? I saw Jay Williams on TV saying they have no respect for the game of basketball. I wouldn't say they've got no respect, but I'd definitely say they are taking the living piss right now, and the umpires in the league need to do something about it. But if I'm the Spurs, I'm sending all that footage into the league office and saying, do something about this. That's not why you lost, though. You did lose for many reasons. One was the fact that the San Antonio Spurs had 23 turnovers in this game. 21 in this game, 23 in the first game. So the Thunder have got 28 points off turnovers in game 1 and 27 in this game. And Stefan Castle has 20 of the 44 turnovers for the Spurs. So that increased ball handling duty without De'Aaron Fox and the second half of this game without Harper, starting to show. The young fella's got a lot of heart, a lot of spirit, a lot of determination, but Jesus, Kenny, he's just been a bit careless. And 20 turnovers in 2 games. You're lucky the series is 1-1, honestly. We all know the Thunder offense just thrives off the turnovers, and to see 55 points in 2 games, you're not really making them work for it. So we also see Wemby, his increase in shots. He went from 2 3-point attempts and the logo shot in game 1 to 7 in this game. He was 3 of 7, so that's fine. But you can see the damage was a little less inside the paint, and whether that's Isaiah Hartenstein trying to beat him up, or that's just the Spurs trying to keep the Thunder on their toes and keep them guessing. If you're going to shoot 3 of 7, that's fine. But you just got to get a bit more inside the paint. We all thought the Wolves had helped prepare San Antonio with their physicality, but again, what Isaiah Hartenstein, this was just WWE. He was just grabbing him, throwing him, pushing him. and he had Wemby had an answer. He just didn't get enough shots in my opinion, and why wouldn't you until the league's gonna call it, till the refs kind of get a control of this, like just, keep smashing him. I don't think it's great for the game, but hey, the Spurs also had to use both their challenges early on incorrect calls on Wemby. One was a block, one was a away from the play foul. And again, it's the umpires did such a good job in game one, but there was some rubbish going on in this game. It was not great. They used both their challenges early, both overturned and done for the game with challenges, but saved Wemby 2 fouls and free throws for the Thunder. So I think the umpires need to have a review of themselves in this one and be like, hey, look. Some of Wemby's stuff is a bit goaltendy at times, but these were clean, and we may have cost the Spurs a little bit of down the line some calls. So, look, it was tough. I mean, Vassell played amazingly, 6 of 12 from downtown, real role player in that, and ended up with 22 points and very efficient. Played good D, but he needs someone to go along with him, and they had no one. Wemby didn't get enough shots. Castle was a bit and Harper was done halfway through the game with what looked like an adductor right leg strain. So he didn't come back. He did get pulled up in the tunnel by some training staff and told to fuck off. Not sure what that's about. But without that, Jordan McLaughlin saw some minutes. I thought he played all right in his 7 minutes, 2 threes, but obviously Mitch Johnson didn't like what he saw, so ended that pretty early. Without the extra ball handling of Harper and Fox and Castle turning it over, like you're just left with not much as the Spurs. So we saw that suddenly the reduced speed on the court without Harper or Fox, without the ball handling, there was far less pressure on the rim, far less cutting, and suddenly their offense was starting at 16 instead of 24. So they were struggling to get over half court. I mean, credit to the Thunder. You got Wiggins, you got Wallace, Mitchell, SGA, Dort. I'm sure I'm missing some, but all playing full court defense. Caruso, all playing, and it's hard to get the ball up. But it was you could tell the difference straight away from game 1 to game 2 was get physical, and once Harper went out, it was just keep pressuring Castle and make him tired. So that man's got a heavy workload, Stephon Castle, and he's only 21. So it's kind of, you wonder if he's gonna not break down, but if it's going to be too much for him at this age. He's first time in the playoffs, and really, really, you could see him not crack under pressure, but definitely not handle the pressure well. So he needs a running mate with him, and Wemby, as I said, he's a big target, but they did an amazing job of just not giving him that little burst into the paint and throw for the alley. So the Thunder played a hell of a game and definitely milked all they could out of it. SGA, 38 minutes. 34, 9, and 3 stocks, 12 of 24 from the field, plus 14. Did end up with 5 fouls early in the fourth quarter as well, but the Spurs didn't seem to have the weapons to go back at him and try and draw that sixth foul. So that was something I kept an eye on. I thought, if you had Fox or Harper, I reckon they're just targeting SGA on at least the next 2 minutes, trying to draw that sixth foul. So put some pressure on Mark Dagnall, but instead, with Castle turning the ball over and in foul trouble himself, McLaughlin's not going to do that for you. Vassell's not going to do that for you. It's SJ managed to stay out on the court for as long as possible. He had a bit of help though. Chet, 26 minutes, 5 of 10 from the field, only 4 rebounds and no stocks. So another game where you're watching him saying, "Are you Evan Mobley?" Just not enough presence, force. I'd like a bit more from him, honestly. If you're going to be paying him as a max player, that's you want him to be, he's also getting pushed around a bit like Wemby, so you can see some similarities there. Thunder ended up playing 12, and that kept them fairly fresh as well. 12 is a relative term, though, because J-Dub played 7 and then got injured. Aaron Wiggins saw the court for 11 seconds. Dort saw it for 16 minutes, so they shared the minutes. SGA played 38, no one else played above 28, so they're staying as fresh as they can and whipping around the court on defense. The Spurs tried zone in the middle of the third quarter. That did not go well for them. Caruso picked it apart. SJ got doubled basically at the logo. Gave it to Caruso, who was flashing middle, and it was just tip pass out to the dunker spot. It was kick out for 3, and then SJ got off the ball really quick. So it was just like, all right, that idea went to shit real quick. So the zone disappeared on them pretty quick, and they just had no answers in this game, unfortunately. So they did well to hang within 9, but just this game felt over in the second quarter, and when they started coming back, it was pretty awesome. But look, the takeaways. SGA's played 90 minutes. Wemby's played 85 in the first 2 games. Obviously, there was a double overtime in game 1, but question is, which of the stars tires first? SGA's a guard. He's got a heavy workload, but he's done this before. Wemby, however, has not done this before, and he's 7'5" alien. So I'd say it's Wemby's that's you got to be a bit more careful of. He's also your star player. So again, I said in the last episode that he should probably just sit out this game, and I stand by it, especially because you lost. But no, we can't see the future. But 85 minutes on that body in that frame, only 2 days rest or 1 day rest, and then game day it's making me a bit nervous. The physicality, another massive takeaway. The refs allowed a lot. They missed a lot. And how the Spurs respond is going to be very interesting. They don't really have an enforcer. They don't have a James Johnson. They don't have a big bruising kind of body that's going to get in there, mix things up for 10 minutes. So it's going to be interesting to see how they handle it and how the refs handle it in Game 3. I think they should just fight back and see what happens. It's easier said than done, but Castle's a dog. Keldon Johnson's a dog. They don't mind getting messy in there. So I reckon, give it back to him, see what happens. But try and get a few more touches in the paint as well, because what this game really came down to was OKC made their threes, and the Spurs didn't get the paint touches or paint points that they needed. So that was the recipe for success in Game 1. Was the Spurs got into the paint, broke it down, either kicked it out, alley-ooped it, or scored with floaters. And the OKC had an expected field goal percent of 55 and only made 38%. So in this game, it flipped, and suddenly the Thunder will come out on top. So, just watching it, huge differences that you could see in the game was look, I still don't agree with Mark Daigneault playing 12 in the playoffs. This one's a little different, but it was really only 10. But still, I think the change was made with the shooting, and it was whether it was a forced change or precursor. Having Isaiah Joe, having Wallace, having McCain, and still having Caruso an absolute heater. Suddenly SGA's got more space. He gets off the ball fast enough as well when he's double teamed, and as soon as Wemby goes out the game, they just attack the paint. So if you're making threes and then attacking the paint, you've got a pretty good chance of success there. So it'd be very interesting to see how the Spurs turn it around in Game 3, depending who's available. If Fox and Harper are out, I'd hate to see the series that is so promising suddenly go to who's just healthier, because that's going to be some bullshit that we do not deserve as fans. Would love to see as well the Spurs just force paint touches. Harper and Castle are pretty decent at throwing an entry pass to Wemby. If you're not going to have the point guards in due to injury, I'd like to see, empty the side of the floor that Wemby's on and see how the Thunder react. I'd like to see more ISO and see how, if the Thunder collapse on him, can Wemby kick it out to shooters or a cutter? If they don't, he can just score any time, ideally over Hartenstein, or at least get Hartenstein into some trouble. I think that's the way you're going to have to go if your point guards aren't available. Because they're fighting tooth and nail on defense. Defense is not really the problem. They're designed to funnel into the paint for Wemby, and then when Wemby's not on the floor, they're designed to funnel out to the corner threes. So again, if OKC is going to beat it with Caruso, Wallace, you've got to give something up to this great team. I think you can live with that one if you're the Spurs. But on the Thunder side, you've got your blueprint. Give the ball to SGA and just read and react, and surround him with shooting. And if Chet's going to keep playing like this, at least now you've got Hartenstein who can muck it up and be in the dunker spot as well. So, it's good. But one other takeaway is, my opinion, no one else's. Jay Williams, not J-Dub, J-Will, criminally underrated. I love this man. He only plays about 8 to 18 minutes a game. He just comes on and makes a difference. Last year in the playoffs, he guarded Jokic made a hell of a difference. Didn't see him again. And already he's taken the challenge of Wemby, Cornet. He's hitting corner threes. He's hitting above the break threes. I just think you could quite easily put him in with the Hartenstein minutes and spread the floor as well. Or if Chet's not playing well, you can put him in there. I think if I'm another team, I'm trying to pry him away from OKC. I'll come up with some trades in the off-season, and because we've got plenty of content right now. But, I tell you what, I'm a Miami Heat fan. If we could have him as the backup center, if we fail on Giannis, but I'd love to see Jay Will next to Bam, behind Bam, whatever. But getting consistent 24-plus minutes a game would be huge for that guy. Didn't rate him coming out in his first year, but he's improved out of sight. So that's one to keep an eye on as we head into Game 3. Does he play more? Does Mark Daigneault keep the shooters rolling? And when does J-Dub come back? But yeah, health is surely not something that's going to ruin this series. I know it's weird they're going to play each other heaps in the future, but come on. This is an amazing series 1-1. So, I think, look, my prediction is still going to be Thunder in 6. They've just got the pedigree. They've done it before. The Spurs, this is their first time through, and if injuries keep piling up, I think 6 is a good effort. If they stay healthy, quite easily could be the Spurs winning it, and you wouldn't be shocked, but it's just it's hard if your 2 lead guards are down at the moment, or at least, not 100%. Moving on, Knicks Cavs, Game 2. Knicks win 109-93, and they are now 2-0 in the series. They've won 9 straight playoff games. And in those 9 games, it's the largest margin of victory ever. So they are winning so many games by double digits. It's not funny. I think they said on the broadcast it was 8 games now that they've won by double digits, or 9, which is the most since the Warriors in 2017 and the Heat in 2013. So both of them pretty good teams to aim for. Both of them won the championship. So, do with it what you will. The third quarter was where the damage was done. 32-21 in that quarter for the Knicks. Blew away from the Cavs. And they just couldn't get enough support if I'm a Cavs watcher. I couldn't get enough support on the offensive end. Giving up 32 is not great, but only scoring 21 is your problem. A lot of missed threes. We'll talk about that in a sec, but if your shooters, which has been your best lineup all year, with whether it's Harden or Harden or Mitchell, surrounded by Merrill, Strus, Wade, and either Mobley or Allen, that's been your best lineup. Plain as the eye can see. If you're not getting anything from your shooters, that lineup becomes useless. So, and that was found out in this third quarter. So, much better job from Kenny Atkinson. We all destroyed him after game 1. I still think he had a fucking stroke or something. Jesus. But hey, he's still with us. He did a much better job. It's just now it's the players' turn to feel the come down of that one. They didn't do so hot in this one. So look, Knicks were amazing. 32 assists and only 6 turnovers. That's a great ball movement. Cat only had 1 assist, but hey, Brunson just took over this game. He had Harden on him. He had Mitchell, who's not moving well. And then, just cooked Merrill, cooked Strus. It was a Brunson game. So we said the last couple of series were Cat series. This is definitely a Brunson series. And it showed 6 turnovers. Amazing. Like, you're not going to lose many games with 6 turnovers. But yeah, Cat, going away from Cat, he did some stupid shit again. But hey, he's going to give you a nice balanced bit of floor spacing. I think he got 18. I said the 1 assist wasn't great, but he rebounds. He's actually playing a lot better defense as well if you keep him involved. And so, yeah, it's good to see Anunoby back. But yeah, between Brunson and who I think just looks unstoppable right now, he's hitting some absolute horse shots right now. Just give me the H on that one. But then Josh Hart. Crazy game for him. 26 points and 5 of 11 from downtown. Just, what are you going to do? If you're the Cavs, if you can't make a shot, and then on the other end, the guy you're leaving open's hitting all his shots, that's good luck. You got to give something up, especially in that lineup. If you've got Bridges, Anunoby, Cat, Brunson, the obvious choice is Hart. If he's hitting his shots, you're like, what the fuck? So yeah, that's just it's a recipe for success for the Knicks and disaster for the Cavs. So we saw the scoring spread for the Knicks. All the starters, I think Anunoby had 14, everyone else had 18 plus. And for the Cavs, it's just another story of just, you want more. You want more from the bigs. They started amazing. So Cleveland come out off to a good start. Mobley and Allen had the first 14 of 17 of the Cavs' points. And then they finished with 27 total between them. And that's just 13 points in the next 3 quarters they've disappeared. I think it's the guards' fault personally. As we said, Mitchell doesn't look right. The interview while the game's going on with Kenny Atkinson said, he hasn't told me anything's wrong. But he looks wrong. Yep, he looks like he's lacking. And I've heard a few other podcasts describe Mitchell's performance as, he doesn't look right, but he's just been too passive and he's looking to pass. In my opinion, he's not looking to pass. And that comes down to the fact that the Knicks see him as injured. And as Mitchell's driving, he doesn't have that explosiveness, that aggressiveness, that trust in his body. And instead of Knicks sending help, they're just saying, we'll just play you straight up one-on-one. And therefore that pass to the bigs isn't there. He's missing little floaters and jumpers and that move where he just cranks it over someone's head. It's not there. It's not there. And if that's breaking down, the whole point of getting into the paint is to get a layup or to pass it off to a big. And if they're not helping and the bigs aren't free and you're not making your shots, it's a pretty hard task. And then you're having to reset your offense with 6 on the clock. So, we'll see how he looks in Game 3. Harden's Harden at the moment. He is, he's just struggling. He's struggling. He's putting in effort on defense. I'll give him that. He looks like he's actually putting in work. He's just not getting any results. So, I think their game plan it's not a bad game plan. It's just been flawed by the fact that the shooters aren't making shots. And the Knicks have figured out that Mitchell's no longer a threat when he hits the paint. And therefore, play him straight up, make him shoot over bridges. Don't give him the little dump-off pass to the bigs. And if he kicks it out, the Cavs have 6 seconds to get a shot. So I think you're feeling pretty comfy if you're the Knicks with that game plan. The thing that does irk me, and again, this might be a Kenny Atkinson coaching staff thing, is how weak the Cavs are on switches. So every time they send a little pick and roll screen, it basically is just a little rub and brush screen that the Knicks set up. The Cavs are just soft switching, which I think is so weak and bullshit. Like, come on, man. Like, they're clearly targeting Harden. You bring up Josh Hart, and then Harden doesn't even fight over the screen, or whoever's guarding Brunson, whether it's Strus or Mitchell or Wade. And then suddenly it's Brunson on Harden with 18 on the clock. Like, no, fight over those screens. See how that changes the Knicks offense. Because right now it's the soft switch it's cooked you in the fourth quarter and overtime of Game 1, and now doing sweet fuck all for you now. So I think it's clear as day to see. I don't know why it's taking 18 coaching staff to come up with this solution, but maybe there was something in the regular season that they tried and it didn't work. But from what I'm watching, it's not great. So I would just say, look, if Harden's getting destroyed on defense and not providing on offense, would common sense not say just play him a little less? Maybe put someone bigger in like Jalen Tyson, who's actually going to offer something on defense. Go Schroeder, who's actually just going to try hard. Heck, even go something wild like Tomlin, just big, rangy. Just try something, because right now, like 36, 38 minutes, 40 minutes of Harden's just not working for you. So, as evidenced by the Cavs plus minus, so they went down by 16. Strus is a minus 17. Harden's minus 22. Allen's minus 20. I mean, look, I know Strus didn't start, but yeah, not great when you lose by 16. You got players that are down that much that play heavy minutes. So, it's you're going to need more from those guys. And you can see straight away, if Strus and Merrill aren't hitting their shots, at least Strus tries really hard on defense. Merrill's taken one of the best charges I've ever seen from Asar Thompson last series. But yeah, this is not great. The Knicks starting 5 was a range of plus 18 to plus 22. And so, again, they won by 16. Their bench actually was the only thing letting them down, but they'd already wrapped that game up early. So the starting five is killing them. Getting plenty of rest as well. Mobley shooting many a three. It's an interesting little thing. Like, I know he's gotten better at it and he's still practicing. He's only 24. My thing with big men is always they need to play many seasons. They don't really hit their peak usually until 27 in my mind. So 24, it's hard to give the guy too much flack, same as Chet. But still, like, get in there, man. If you're up against Robinson, if you're up against Huck Porty, if you're up against Cat, like, you're quicker. As we saw against one player against Robinson, he went straight past him, went under the ring and just dunked it left-handed. Just try a bit more of that. Like, use your aggressiveness. If you get knocked off your spot or you have to kick the ball out, what's the worst that can happen? Like, you're putting pressure on the defense at least. And it's just standing out there shooting threes if I'm the Knicks. Yep, you could do that all day. The 3-point shooting, as we hit on, it's Merrill 0 of 7, Strus 1 of 4, Mitchell 2 of 7, and from the Knicks side, it's Hart 5 of 11, Cat 3 of 5, and Anunoby 2 of 4. I think Brunson was 1 of 6. That's the only downside, and McBride was 1 of 7. But it shows you that, you know, not everyone has to have an amazing game to win these series. You just need your role players. And, geez, did the Knicks step up and the Cavs just shrink? So, I mean, this is a completely different thing if Merrill hits that end of regulation 3 in game 1, because suddenly the series is 1-1 and we're saying, wow, amazing. But it didn't, and therefore now we're watching a 2-0 series and it just feels like it's time to get the brooms out for the Knicks. Gentlemen's sweep seems fine here. It seems like it's going to be a 4-1 series win for the Knicks, and it's just going to be a bloodbath in the other series. Mikal Bridges has been on a real heater since Game 5 of the Atlanta series, and I think on the broadcast they said he was about 56 of his last 76 shots from the field. That's a heater after he was basically going to get benched after Game 4 of the Atlanta series, so he has come back in amazing fashion. You don't usually see that in a playoff series, so that's huge, and he's guarding Mitchell, he's guarding Harden, and just causing havoc. And Anunoby now starting to look like himself again. He obviously had the hamstring injury, but they swept the Sixers, so he had plenty of time to rest up, had the 9 days. Game 1, bit rusty, airballed a few threes. By the end of the game, he nearly dunked on, I can't remember, must have been Mitchell. But yeah, he nearly sent someone for their Kodak moment. But yeah, he's starting to look himself again, which is good, because before he got injured, he was looking like an all-star. If Hart's going to make threes, yeah, you're fucked. So yeah, it's at least the good thing with Hart is if he's not shooting well, he just doesn't shoot, which is good and bad. Like, if he's not shooting well, just get him off basically. But he is if he's making his shots, like, who do you hide your bad defenders on? It's just, you can't. As the Cavs have found out. Mike Brown. Biggest irk with him is the fact that it took 85 games to unlock Karl Anthony Towns. Use him as more of a passer. I know in this game he had 1 assist, but he's had 2 triple-doubles already this postseason. And when you've assistant coached as Mike Brown has in Golden State with Draymond Green, Steph Curry, you saw how they used Draymond Green, and he's only 6'6", Cat's 6'10". Cat's a good passer, and the fact that it took 85 games, again, something with the coaches. Are you mentally ill? Like, what's going on? Like, how can you not see that from Game 5? Cat said all year that he didn't know what his role in the offense was, and it took 85 games. Like, that's slow, man. You really need to look inwards and be like, am I coaching, or what am I doing? But hey, we finally got there. And now look at it. Like, 9 straight wins for the Knicks is, in the playoffs, is hard work, man. So well done to them. They've only lost twice so far. They've unlocked something finally, and it's good. It's really good to see. The energy around New York is crazy. From what I hear, is Knicks fans everywhere, new Knicks fans everywhere. It's all of it. It's just, New York seems like the place to be right now. So moment from this game, as I said, it was the third quarter run. It was 53 all at the 10-minute mark of the third quarter. and then the Knicks go on an unimpeded 18-0 run in the next 5 minutes, which basically took them 71-53, gave you shades of Game 1, except in reverse, except the Knicks did not give up the lead at all, and they just pushed home that advantage. So they were very impressive, very impressive. The changes that each team can make, look, it's pretty simple. If you're going to guard Mitchell straight up and not send help, I think you either play him with the shooters around and just hope to God that the shooters are making a shot. Because right now it's like, holy shit balls. If you're not making a shot and I'm not 100% healthy, we're fucked. So, or you got to use a few more screens. You know, use the double screen action. Get some action on the far end of the court. Clean out the Mitchell side of the court. You know, you've got a bunch of different options that can help. Harden's a bit older. He's not blowing by anyone anymore. But Mitchell is still blowing by people even while injured. So you can make that as your game plan is without running him into the ground. Send him to the ring with some speed. Use a big that he can pass it to who can still make plays. Or, as I said, empty that side of the court that he's on and see what the Knicks defense does. Same as the Spurs with Wemby. See what the Knicks defense does. If they're going to double or send help or hedge, that's when you can start making plays. If they're not, you just got to hope Mitchell's up for a nice big 40-point game. So on the Knicks end, I think you just got to keep doing what you're doing. You know, Merrill and Strus are not going to shoot that bad again, but the job you're doing at Harden and Mitchell is huge. And yeah, once you're taking the bigs out of it, that's just when carnage starts unfolding because you don't feel their presence on the defensive end either. So Mobley, considering he was a defensive player of the year a couple of years ago, you don't even know he's out there. So that's pretty bad so far for the Cavs side of things. Going to finish on another episode of Fraud Watch. Last time we did Asar Thompson. Don't need to rehash that for the poor bastard. But this time, going to go with Brandon Podziemski from the Golden State Warriors. That curly-headed fuck is so useless, and I hate watching him. What the fuck, dude? Like, you just... I know the Golden State Warriors aren't relevant right now. They're not even on TV, but... Damn, brother. Like, the way his curly hair shoots backwards when he's flopping is the most annoying thing ever. You could tell he played with Draymond Green because he's arguing every call. He thinks he's a superstar like Steph Curry, and he's worse than Sam Merrill. And I like Sam Merrill, but yeah, Pods, man. You can actually play some defense and have some good games, but Jesus, you have the world's biggest ego, and I don't know why the hell Steve Kerr is playing you so many minutes and putting trust in you. Like, I know he's got no one else to play, but fuck me, dude. Just get a better attitude. Learn what your role is. Stop flopping. Stop arguing. Just be less annoying to watch is basically what we're saying. So, look, got to support the white guys. I'm white. But, yeah, brother, you were just hard to watch. Like, no, I can't watch you at this point. So learn how to be either a star and then you can complain, or just slip into your role and shut the fuck up. Anyway, sorry, that was negative, but hilarious. So thank you all for watching. We will catch you after Game 3s have occurred. This has been recorded after Game 2, so we've got a little bit of time. But yeah, thank you for being part of this journey, and we'll catch you next time.